What is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing tonight? Welcome to the call. This is Matthew Neer calling in from Miami Beach. As you may notice, the background is slightly different. I got my friend Stefan here. We got to get a little cheers in honor, drinking the Coronas in honor of coronavirus. Cheers. We got Greg's getting the coffee, the man with unlimited caffeine tolerance. Greg, what's going on tonight, man? How you feeling over there?
Man, super excited and really wanted to thank Stefan for stopping in, just traveling and being on our call. Thank you very much. And Matthew, awesome to pull out another 7-figure earner buddy of yours. Our whole group gets the benefit from hearing from.
Dude, it's going to be awesome. So bit of an off-the-cuff webinar tonight. I literally had no idea that Stefan was going to come into town. Well, I knew he was coming to town, but I didn't ask him to do the webinar until like literally earlier today. So
yeah.
I was like, hey man, you want to do the webinar? He's like, hey, yeah, okay, cool. So we're just gonna show up. We're just gonna talk about marketing. We'll talk about like you guys can ask us questions too. Feel free to shoot them in our way, and let us know like what we start to touch on tonight, and how we can help you guys get a better result in where you're at in your life. So I wanted to bring Stefan on specifically, and we'll start off with the topic here of how Stefan has done multiple 7 figures in launching various different, information and software products, on networks like Warrior Plus and JVZoo, and why he's always successful with that, and why he always has top selling offers, while others try to do the same thing but fail. So it's like, what is the difference there? We're gonna get into that tonight. And we're also going to get into how email is the backbone of all of that, So literally the product launch industry revolves around email marketing. If it wasn't for email, product launching probably wouldn't even exist right now. So we'll talk about that as well. But let's bring out the man himself, man. Stefan, what's going on, bro? So how are you? Thank you for coming in all the way.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be on with you guys. How's everyone doing?
Right on, folks. So yeah, Stefan, I mean, let's just talk a little bit about like, when I first, do you remember the first place we even met? It was at an event somewhere, but I forget which one.
I think it was Orlando. Actually, I know exactly what it was. It was Orlando, Florida.
Okay, in Orlando,
Florida. Right here in Florida.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. So, getting together at an event like that to come together and help us, help promote each other's products and offers that we're launching in various different marketplaces, right? And so that's always a lot of fun. Like I've said many times in this group before, when you go out there and you seek out other people in the industry that, especially at live events like that, then and you work with those people, you guys promote stuff together. Those are like your brothers and sisters that you grow with, and like you guys build together, and amazing friendships are formed, amazing business relationships are formed, and millions of dollars are made as well. So Stefan, what's coming up for you when I start talking about the product launches? What makes them successful, and why do you think that you have always been a bestseller whenever you launch a product?
It's a good question. I think there's a few things to consider when it comes to product launching. Number one, and I think this is first and foremost, is if you're actually someone who because when you put out products consistently, you start to get a reputation. People put a name behind the product, right? So if you put out good products and you put out stuff that actually helps people, and people remember that, and then that brand grows. So over time, you're going to be able to say, all right, well, this guy actually puts out good products. This guy puts out crap products. And you will know who the people that are actually putting out good products are versus the people who aren't putting out good products. Secondly, when it comes to product launching, as you just talked about, affiliates are very important. Having affiliates on board who support you, you support them. Kind of like what you said, it's kind of like they're your brothers in arms in a way, because you're all helping each other. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of affiliates that don't really care what they promote, which is a whole nother discussion. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who do care what they promote. So if you're putting out a good product, you're also gonna capitalize on getting those affiliates that are a little bit more strict with what they promote. So that's another thing. It really revolves around putting out a product that's actually useful, really good information. When I've been selling a lot of these, I guess I can start with talking about information products. When I put out information products for a low price, I put out really good content. I put out case studies. I put out things that are like proof of like, hey, this works. If you put in the work, you can get results with this. And when you do that, it just takes away any skepticism that anyone might have about that product not working or not being a good product. So I think over delivering on the product, putting out and by doing that, you attract more affiliates and you get a certain reputation that like your products are actually good, which attracts more people to buy from you in general and attracts more affiliates to promote you.
Well said, man. Well said. I mean, that is where it's at for sure. So when you launch products, I always notice that you would sort of lead off with like a case study in the actual sales video itself. You know, your headline would be like case study, how XYZ did this in XYZ amount of time. And, you know, like you're saying, like, it's just, you're leading with results. And so when, you know, a visitor, warm or cold, like lands on a page and sees that, all of a sudden they're like, wait, you know, they're doing this, like, and then they, you know, you get them to click the play button and they see you actually, you know, doing whatever the offer is claiming to do right there on the camera, results in advance, if you will, right? And I think that is huge, man. I think that is huge.
Yeah.
What else did you do that's unique on offers specifically that led you to be, you know, we could talk about more about how affiliates come into play as well, but on offers specifically, what else do you think you did that made your offers convert really, really well at a high level and almost every time in bestseller?
Yeah, so you touched on something really big there with the case study thing. And that's actually a saying I always used to say, I mean, I still say, is like lead with results. So it's like, you know, if you make a claim, especially when it comes to things like make money and you say how to make $1,000 a day, that's not as powerful as if you say how I made $1,000 doing this, right? Because now you're leading with like, you're not telling anyone, you're not claiming anyone's going to be able to do anything. You're saying, I did this. Now they're curious, right? So they want to know, how did you actually do that? So to your point, that is why I always took that angle on my information products. And as you know, these days I'm doing a lot more software related launches, and we could talk about that in a little bit too. But either way, regardless of what you're selling, info or software, leading with results, leading with case studies, it just cuts through a lot of the, I don't know if we're allowed to say BS on here.
We can say whatever you want, man.
All right, good. Yeah. Just cut through the BS. And then, you know, instead of people going to your page and immediately feeling skeptical, they're feeling curious. And that's a automatically better standpoint for them to start from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So you get them, you said the word curious, you know, to me, curious is like the one thing you got to have in your marketing. You know, you got to get people curious, like almost like, you know, if you're reading a headline or you're watching a video, like it's like you as a marketer are crafting and creating that process, right? Each piece that you put in, like, you know, if it's a sales page, it's like this, right? Each piece that you put in below it is designed to make them read the next piece or like stay, you know, watching the video or something along those lines, right? So the curiosity, man, the curiosity is huge, especially in email, but we're talking about email in a minute. So I promised 5 bullet points that we're going to cover tonight. So I'm gonna read those off quickly and we'll see if we can get through all of them, because next thing you guys know, it's going to be freaking 9 o'clock and then we'll be like, oh, you know? So number 1 is how to create and launch offers. Number 2, why email is the backbone of all product launches. Number 3, the reason why a launch will be successful or fail. 1 huge headline trick that boosts conversions, and what to do if your launch is flopping and how to save it. That's a
good list.
That's happened to me a couple of times, man. And I have turned around almost all. I did have one that did flop pretty bad, but almost all the others that, you know, rare that it's a flop, right? But in the event that it does happen, like, I mean, we could just talk about that. We're on the topic, right? What would you do? What's the first go-to thing that you would do if you have an offer that's like, it goes live in the marketplace and you kind of know you've done this a couple of times, but at this point you kind of have a metric for like, okay, sales should be at a certain level by now and they're not. And you know something is messed up with your marketing. I mean, dude, it could be a whole number of things, right? It could be the leads aren't adding to the email list. You know, the freaking merchant account isn't connected. You know, weird technical things could happen, right? But let's set those aside and say that the tech stuff is working 100%, which it never does in a launch, by the way, guys. It never does. From a conversion standpoint and a marketing standpoint, if the tech stuff is working and the marketing stuff, you know, what would you fix in the marketing to pull those numbers back up? What was the first thing you think of?
So the first thing I think of, and it's amazing how powerful this is I would look at changing the headline. And honestly, just changing the headline, there's times that we just change the headline and it fixes everything else. without having to even edit anything else on the page. So that headline is powerful. I mean, it's something like a very high percentage. I can't give you the exact percentage, but it's a very high percentage of your conversions. So just by changing the headline, you're kind of changing it's that first thing people relate to when they come to the page. So honestly, there's times that we'll just change the headline and conversions could as much as double just because you changed that initial idea. So headline, very, very important.
Huge.
The other thing I would do is test that headline by sending more emails to your existing audience. And once you know that it's converting back where you want, you can reach back out to affiliates and you can even offer them a small commission bump for them to mail if they agree to mail again right then and there.
Okay.
So that's another powerful thing that you could do.
Wow. Incentivize them to hit it again. And you say, hey, little bump in your commission if you do it next, if you hit again. That's pretty hot, man. That's pretty hot. So, okay. We knocked that one out.
Nice.
What to do if you're launch, and that's funny when you say the headline thing too, man, because that would have been my same go-to to tweak the headline or at least get that up in a split tester immediately and just see what's going on there as the lowest hanging fruit to pull conversions back up.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's funny. Okay. So we talked about, changing the headline for, to pull conversions up as fast as possible in the event that you need to do that. Same would go with your subject lines, by the way, guys. Can't tell you how many times I send out a mail and it bombs and I'm like, it's the offer, it's the offer, it's the offer. And then I'm like, okay, but we got to try it again. You change the headline and then it's brand new and the sales are flowing again, so I'm sorry, change the subject line.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah. So in the same note there, since we talked about headlines as the biggest metric to change, what's one huge headline trick that boosts conversion? So what would you say, like, do you have a formula for how you write a headline, or like, do you have any special tricks that you use to make them like, or maybe a number one winner that you have, you're like a go-to template for a headline, maybe?
Two go-to winners. You
Okay.
touched on one of them earlier, case study.
Case study.
That's
Okay.
the other one. The other one that has never failed us, no matter how many times we use it, especially if I'm partnering with someone, 2 regular guys discover the idiot-proof way to XYZ. Never fails.
That's good.
Has not failed once.
That's good.
So sometimes we'll even split test the case study angle against the 2 regular guys discover the idiot-proof way. And
2 idiots.
We gotta run that one, Greg. We gotta run that.
Both of those always convert extremely well. Never failed.
Well, okay. Say the 2 idiots try XYZ method. How do you say it?
2 regular guys discover the idiot-proof way or method to do whatever.
I love it.
So
That's
2 regular guys discover the idiot-proof way. It just resonates with people.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Really good.
Because, Greg, what are your thoughts on I guess headline stuff or anything else we covered so far? Just to get your input real quick.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because there is no doubt. In fact, it's funny because most of the offers that we've run and with List Leverage and TA and I've run in the past, they're more evergreen. But Stefan is dead on. I mean, the headline. I mean, if it starts out not great, that's a great place to start. If also conversions start falling because the same traffic's coming back, just using your number 2 heater with the exact same sales page, it's amazing how that also works. I mean, so what he's saying, I just couldn't agree with more. I mean, they've just done that stuff over and over and over. And I've got some killer questions too. I want to ask, but I want to get through your list first. But I mean, I bet Stefan's got some stuff that he has learned from multiple offers that have made a quantum difference. When I'm looking, I can't wait to hear him talk a little bit about some of the changes he's made, or upgrades, or even just, things he learned that moved the needle. And because I mean, you and I, Matthew, talk about those things a lot. And, like just changing the friendly funds has moved our needle here over the last 3 months. But there's so many things like that are helpful little nuggets. I just can't wait to hear them.
You ever change the from name on your email address?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Dude, we've been playing around with that lately and getting quite aggressive with them. But Greg, as that's what he's talking about right now, is like we have seen a massive boost in our open rates. Some lists getting over 25%.
Oh wow.
From that strategy right there. It's crazy, man. So Greg, we'll come to those questions in a minute. I got one that came in from Glenn Murray here. He says, this is the question of all questions right here, and you're gonna laugh at the answer. We'll see what Stefan says actually. How do you test the headline before a launch? How do you know it's going to work? Stefan, what would you say to that?
So one way that you could test it is if you're doing some internal launching before your main launch. So if you have some existing audience, you can run that offer internally and see how does it convert to your existing audience, just to make sure that it converts. Now, remember, it's going to convert, especially if you have a good relationship with your audience, it's going to convert better internally to your own audience than it's going to an affiliate's audience generally. I mean, that could change depending on what incentives they have, bonuses, but in general, so just remember, if it converts at, I don't know, 10% on your audience, it might not convert 10% for everybody else. But in general, that's one way that you could do it. But the other thing is, if you don't have an existing audience or you're not launching internally, you won't know. You're just going to have to launch it and see what happens, basically.
So cross the fingers, man. No, but okay, yes, most people probably in the launch marketplaces probably do not test their headlines, with traffic before they launch, but most of them probably have experience knowing what's going to work or what's not, right? They kind of have maybe a headline template of some sort. Or, in my first time doing product launches, right, I would just model what's in the marketplace and like making, you see what best-selling offers are and what they're doing. And then you kind of just like pull that into yours and then make the headline unique to like what it is that you're selling, right? And sort of customize it. So Glenn, I hope that is, most people don't test them. That's what it cracks me up because they just don't,
Yeah, and I would just add what Stefan said a little bit earlier, even, that he's got some proven winners. It is amazing that you build on previous success, even though you may be selling a different product. It is amazing how the concept of marketing applies across the board. So many things that work in the past work in the future.
Definitely, man.
Human nature doesn't change. Never changes.
Marketing is a very very harsh teacher of that, right? It's like, it's kind of like at the end of the day, what are we doing when we write like a sales page or like or an email copy or something like that? Is like we're just trying to get like down to the core, like almost reptilian brain, like what's going to trigger that response to make people act. They almost don't even know they're acting sometimes, and that's almost what a marketer does. Is like how do we get to those deep, like ingrained responses? Like a good example of that might be like how, almost all humans are instinctively scared of spiders or snakes. They've never seen one in their entire life, but if you show it to them for the first time, they're going to be scared of it. Why? Probably because for thousands, maybe millions of years, people have died from spiders and snake bites, right? So it's kind of like this in marketing, we're trying to get to like those embedded, like deep psychological cues that like trigger us, and we don't even know they're triggering us, right? So it's kind of like that. I kind of imagine those scenarios when I sit down to write some sales copy or like an email swipe or whatever. How do we bridge that in perfectly so that like they see the headline and then like the headline and then in the copy, it almost bridges them into their result. They can see it just by reading that first hint of it,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the stronger the emotional response, the higher the conversions. It's really that simple, like when it comes to launching profitable offers, you really want to, people want to people are not looking for a feature. They're looking, or even a benefit, really. They're looking to solve their problem. And in many cases, that problem comes in the form of pain at the end of the day. So if you're helping them solve their pain, the more that you can actually show them that you can do that, the more conversions you're going to have. And it's understanding it at the core,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Okay, so we're kind of going in reverse order here with these, but it's cool. That's how it's working out. So what do you think, like, this is an interesting question because there could be a number of different ways to answer it, but, why do you think a launch succeeds or fails? What is it? Is it just having the right affiliates on board, or does that not matter? And it's having the right, is it about the offer, having the right offer in place? And like, so then you could argue like, okay, the offer is really, really good. I don't have any affiliates. I know my product is amazing and the marketing for the product is amazing. Can I still do good if I don't have any affiliates? Or do I need to like cater to the affiliates and say, hey, I'm making this product so that they're going to make money? Like that's kind of a distinction there, but you could take it your own way as well. So what would you say makes a launch succeed or fail?
So it's a great question. And I think at least from what I've seen from doing this for a number of years is that sometimes it's interesting. You'll see a launch that'll come out of nowhere and it won't even have, it'll be someone you never heard of. And they don't really have a lot of affiliate connections, but it'll catch on. And I'm sure you've seen this.
Yeah,
too.
why do you see those once in a while? Why do you think it happens?
So for those, I think there's just something about the launch that it catches fire right in the right way, in a sense that it's something unique. Everyone seems to catch on that it's unique right away, and it's converting like crazy.
When you say unique, what do you mean by that?
You know, it's something that's a little bit tough to exactly pinpoint, but I think there's a few factors on what makes it unique. Number one, maybe the sales page and the angling of the offer are different from what you generally see, because especially in the launch space, especially something related to money or internet marketing, a lot of times they follow a very similar formula. So if someone is coming out there with something that's like totally different, totally unique, and I can actually give you an example of this that's a little bit outside of the low ticket launching thing, but the same concept applies. But to answer your question on this, I think it's just something it's just different in a way that it attracts everyone to it. Even marketers who are kind of like, they see the same thing over and over again, and they're kind of like used to that format. Something that's outside of that copywriting formula or that offer formula, plus it converts really, really well. Those two components seems to attract a lot of people to it. I can give you an example, actually. Before I even had a really big rep in the launch space, I launched a product called Growy. Do you remember that?
I remember Growy, yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I think Growy fit that formula because Growy had an interesting name, and everyone said, "What the heck is Growy?" Because I didn't name it Instant Marketing Masterclass or something. It was like, I named it Growy.
Yeah.
So it's different, right? Everyone wants to be. You probably said, "What the hell is Growy?" Right?
And refresh me. What did Growy actually do back then?
So Growy, the angle for Growy was actually teaching you how to build little websites with ads on them that grow into passive income streams. So it was Growy. So the angle was unique. And it's funny, I don't know if you remember this. After I launched Growy, a lot of people started launching products with one word with two eyes at the end. Do you remember this?
Oh man, this happened to me too. Same thing, man. Same thing,
and like, and I don't blame them because you go after what works, right? But then no, that thing is no longer unique.
Yeah.
Right? Because like I did it once, it was unique. Everyone, and so Growy had a unique angle, had a unique name, and it just caught on. I had a bunch of affiliates that I had never heard of coming out of the woodwork to promote it because it was different. It didn't fit the mold of the average marketplace offer.
Interesting. That's huge, man. That's huge. You're just making me think of some stuff. I had an offer called 5K Formula. Launched it, did like 10,000 units or damn near close to it on that one. And then next thing I know, and that's what you meant. The whole I'm talking about this offer Growy. I'm thinking about that offer that I did and like, why did it do so well? And I don't really know, but I guess it was different. Like in the sales video, like I walk into the bank and I get $5,000 out from the bank and I show it to the camera, no one had ever seen that in Warrior Plus before. So I was like, oh, I guess that it hooked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I do 5K Formula and then next month some guy does 6K Formula and I'm like, God damn, man, what are you doing? I can't believe it. It's just crazy, but I don't know. So, but profound insights for sure, man. Profound insights for sure. Absolutely amazing. So let's see, we got a couple of questions coming in here. Let's see what we got. Glenn says, ClickBank, JVZoo, Warrior Plus, what are your opinions on these three platforms? And as a new product creator, which one would you choose and why? Interesting. What would you say?
That's a good question. I think it depends on what you're doing. I personally got my start on Warrior Plus, and I kind of moved into JVZoo. And I've done some ClickBank stuff, but instead of going through ClickBank, I now have some of my own offers hosted elsewhere. But at the end of the day, it depends on what kind of offer you want to sell. I think Warrior Plus and JVZoo are definitely more, Warrior Plus especially is more offers related to how to build an online business or how to build online income streams or local marketing. JVZoo is all of that plus marketing software. And then ClickBank is all of that plus different niches like health, anything from numerology to recipes. I mean, you've got such a variety of things on ClickBank. So it depends on your niche a little bit, but if you are in the online marketing, internet marketing space, Warrior Plus is a very beginner-friendly market. I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's a great place to get your start, get your feet wet to do your first launch, get a few affiliates, make 100 sales or 200 or whatever at a low ticket price, get your feet wet with launching, build a little bit of a following, an email list, and then from there you can start growing and move on to bigger things. If you want to start with software right away, if you're in a position where maybe you have a developer or you're interested in just going straight for software, I would recommend JVZoo. There's not a ton of software that launches on Warrior Plus. There's some, but most of the software is concentrated on JVZoo. And JVZoo is definitely, when it comes to software, a more beginner-friendly market, in my opinion, than ClickBank.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. I would say I've done ClickBank a lot, probably more than you have, I would say.
100%.
Okay. And then also I've had 3 best-selling offers on JVZoo and then maybe over a dozen on Warrior Plus. And so I guess I know them all pretty well. And I would agree with everything you said. And I would just add on to what ClickBank probably being better for evergreen potential, I would say, just because it's been around for so long, they're just a big affiliate base there. But yeah, man. So I hope so which one would you choose though, if you're just starting out? Honestly, Glenn, I would probably do Warrior Plus, man, because it's just like hyper focused, on like what's going to sell well in that marketplace is like a specific technique, method, or strategy to go make money today. So if you have that, like that's what's going to apply very, very well to that market. JVZoo, like you said, going to be a software. ClickBank is more of like an evergreen business type of a thing. I would say is the way I would approach that. But for you, man, I would say do W Plus. I mean, the history of Warrior Plus, where it came from back in the day.
So I know, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Warrior Forum kind of had a branch off into Warrior Plus, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't have Warrior Forum didn't have like a way. They had the WSO section where I would go and sell my early day like forum offer, but it's literally just a forum, and you had to connect your own PayPal account. And then so at one point, Warrior Plus came in there and provided the affiliate network for Warrior Forum, and it just freaking took off. And then when Warrior Forum sold, then to I believe the freelancer guys bought it. I was at an event one time in North Carolina. And I met the new owners of Warrior Forum, and they're out there promoting stuff.
Oh, wow.
Cool dudes, actually. Yeah, very cool dudes. Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'll introduce you if they're ever around. But then, so what I was going to say about and Warrior Plus just at that point branched off and did its own thing, became its own network basically, and now it's just sort of a home for like I would say, because the Warrior WSO stood for Warrior Forum Special Offer. And so that was like you come the rules for the forum were like you have to come to this marketplace and sell your product at a discount as a special offer for the forum, So that's kind of how it got its reputation and name. And so Warrior Plus kind of like, I guess, more or less kept that, but you could bring new products to market there too, and list them for sale. But it's typically lower price points, right? With a strong funnel on the back of that. So, you say what's the average price point on Warrior? Say like 9 to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's very much built around the building your list method. So you want to make sure that you are putting out an offer that, it's really a tripwire. People have heard the term tripwire. Very important to be doing that, lowering the barrier to entry to get people into your ecosystem so that you can remarket to them. And a backbone of what you guys all talk about is, building that list. So important to be doing that.
He's going into the next step already. My goodness. It's on it, man. So it is, man. So okay, for the people listening, many people on this call may or may not be at the level where they're capable of launching a product yet. And it's my personal belief that everybody is. You just have to go want it bad enough, right? So if you're not ready for that yet, it's like you can still use all of the networks we just talked about as a way to go find offers and promote them as an affiliate, right? In fact, that's almost how everyone that's ever created a product and launched it successfully has started as an affiliate at one point or another, right? And so go out there in those markets and start studying, the offers that exist there, promoting them as an affiliate with your email list and get sales that way, right? And then when you do that, you're going to learn about like how the market works, what offers convert, what offers don't, what offers work for you. Because an offer might work for you in your list, or it might not, but work really well for someone else's, right? And so, you just got to go out there and experiment and test and see what is good for you. So, let's move into that next piece here, man, about email being the backbone of all of probably the internet as a whole, basically, right? But specifically in the product launch industry, it's almost primarily driven all by email. And so I don't know, man, we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff about email in here. Like Greg and I routinely come on here and talk about email for like an hour and a half, and we don't even know how we do it, but there's always something to say, some new trick we're learning, or like things we're doing now to get results. So what are some of your experiences doing email? And this might be an interesting question to you. So the Warrior Plus market is a buyers only market, right? So in that market, no one generates leads for email list, right? They only have leads on their list that spent money. So it's a different list, less volume, but like hyperactivity, very responsive. Whereas, so I played in that market, and then I've also done another market like on ClickBank where you generate leads on the front, and the mailing power is like 10, 100 times more, but it's less responsive and less sales. It takes like you'll send so much traffic and the sales won't be there like they would in the Warrior market. So I'm just throwing some ideas at you, man. What's your experience with email in the different marketplaces?
Yeah, so you were pretty much touching on buyers lists right there. So buyers lists obviously are going to be the most powerful thing. The backbone of a lot of my business has been buyers lists. At the end of the day, the difference between someone who takes out their credit card and doesn't take out their credit card, like if you don't have those buyers extracted onto a concentrated list, as you said, you're dealing with a lot of people mixed in there that might never take out their credit card. So buyers lists are incredibly powerful. At the end of the day, though, I will say this: depending on what price your offering is, sometimes it won't matter. So, for example, if you're selling something high ticket, it's very possible that even with that diluted list that doesn't have only buyers, you can still make more money collecting just leads on the front end, as opposed to a buyer's list where you might be able to just mail directly to a low ticket offer without some. So I'll get into why I'm bringing this up in a minute. But so with a buyer's list, if you promote to low ticket products, you're going to get a good conversion because, especially those buyers, if they spent $7 or $17 with you and you're selling them an offer for $7 or $17, it's like a 1-1, they're happy to spend that much money. So in my business, for a while, all I was doing was just promoting those lower ticket offers because I had a bunch of buyers that bought low ticket offers. So I would just basically send them to similar offers. I know that they converted. I know that a $17 buyer is willing to spend $17 on a product. And it makes sense, right? So in terms of collecting leads that aren't buyers, what works really well is actually sending them to a webinar. So that's something that we're experimenting a lot more with now, is actually just collecting leads and sending them into a webinar, including cold leads, including literally leads where they're just cold emailing people without even them opting into anything. Because webinars are so powerful, and I don't want to monopolize this into a webinar conversation, but webinars are so powerful that even a cold prospect with a properly done webinar, after an hour to an hour and a half of watching that, will be so ready to buy something. Even if they started out cold, they're now warm or hot by the end of that webinar. You did that in a matter of an hour to an hour and a half. That is so powerful. So if you're doing something like that, you're going to see a much higher conversion in general, that maybe you don't care if your list is just a lot of freebie seekers or people that haven't been proven to buy. I hope that made sense the way I explained it.
Yeah, no, it's solid stuff, man. Solid stuff. So, the power of the buyer's list, the buyer's list is a lot to be said for that, folks. It's, we talk about that a lot here. We also talk about the reputation you build with your list over time, where as you mail your list more and more, they begin to know who you are as a sender. They know what to expect. And so one thing I talk about often, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this strategy at all, man, but literally I did an offer where when people joined my list, the autoresponders would literally just say hey, the reason you're on this list is because I'm going to send you offers that I think are really good. And I just told them that in the emails. And I said, hey, expect emails from me every day, sometimes twice a day. And I'm going to send you what I think is really hot and what's going to help you. And then lo and behold, that list had the lowest unsubscribes, lowest complaints, and highest buy rate that I've ever had on a list so far. And I'm like, wow, should do that again, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, when you set the expectations ahead of time and you tell them exactly what they're going to get, they usually expect it. Another thing that's really powerful is telling them to whitelist your email address.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So in the first email, make sure you tell them, like, I'm going to be sending you some good stuff. Make sure that you whitelist me or you add me to your contacts. And then, you know, this is maybe getting a little bit off the topic of email marketing, but send them to your chatbot or your Facebook chatbot, or send them to, if you want to text me here, collect SMS, you know, and say, by the way, if you want to shoot me a text, you can reach me here.
Huge.
Casual.
Man. Huge.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is also a little bit off the topic of just strictly email, but if you have something like, if you do have something like training online that's free, or maybe like a YouTube channel, like I have a YouTube channel, or I had a YouTube channel at the time, maybe 50 videos on it, I would send an email that said 50 free training videos for you. And then the whole thing was just subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Oh, you're building up the subscribers on there. So you're pulling the people on your email list over here into the YouTube list with a free gift, sort of as a bribe or whatever, right?
Yeah. So being omni-channel is powerful too. I mean, you could crush it with just email. Absolutely. I mean, most of what we do is still to this day, 95% probably email, but you could also go omni-channel and see great success with that too.
Crazy, man. It's, you know I got to do more YouTube stuff. It's in here somewhere, man. It's one of these days we're going to get the channel like really, really popping. But okay, so I asked you the email question specifically because, like, when I first got started in this industry, like, I couldn't figure out how they were doing it. You know, like I got on some affiliate lists or whatever. And so I would get these leaderboard emails, right? And they're saying like, oh my God, you know, so-and-so made like $10,000 in commission. So-and-so made $25,000. He won a new car. And I'm like, what the hell? How are they making these sales? You know? And it wasn't until I really got in the room, like with the guru, and I saw him mail his list and click refresh on his ClickBank account, and sales come in. And I was like, holy shit, that's the activity right there. Like, they're mailing their lists to get these sales, right? So, I mean, I don't know, when I say that, like, did you have a similar experience, or how did you find out about the power of email?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, when I started online, you know, I realized like, I mean, there's obviously that whole thing, you have to transition from a buyer to a seller mindset. And I think when I made that realization is when I saw that email was the medium where, like, you know, you do kind of just have that, like, oh, it's all coming from email. Like, you know, there was a guy online that I was following from the Warrior Forum, and I opted into his email list, and, you know, he actually had sent me to his blog where he had an offers page. And on the offers page, there was about 10 different offers, like shopping mall style.
Okay.
And they were all low ticket, about $17. And I went through and I said, oh, I like this one. Oh, I want to learn how to do that. So I bought like 2 of them, right? Then he kept emailing me. And eventually I bought his coaching. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's when I realized, I'm like, this is the medium of communication that you need to be using, because you just reach the most people in the shortest amount of time, even to this day in 2021, you know, and it's going to continue being the number one. God knows how long. Yeah,
I mean, that's like email is just, it is what it is. You know, once in a while you see an ad, or you see, you know, someone send out, this one always gets me when they do this. They send an email out saying email marketing is dead. And I'm like, wait, this isn't an email, but I thought it was dead, you know? So that one always gets me. But once in a while I see that happening. But then, you know, you guys got to remember, if you ever see that, it's more or less a marketing tactic, right? To get you, oh, what? Oh my God, you go into panic mode. Now you got to read it, right? But so where I was going to go with that. So, email marketing being the king of all media, basically, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of great media online today, including YouTube, Facebook, and many others. But with email, least compliance, they buy, like, email is a transactional medium, right? Like that's where they go to. When you buy something on Amazon, where do you go check your receipt? Email. You know, when you pay for something, it's always your email receipt that you're checking. And you go to a store, hey, we're going to email you the receipt, you know, boom, like transactional medium. That's why it's so powerful. And then also, let's never forget the fact that in order to use anything on the internet, what do you need? An email account, right? An email address. So yeah, I would agree, man. While chatbots are cool and powerful, and, you know, we have a mutual friend, Travis, that, you know, is crushing it with his chatbot system, right? But And, you know, and then Facebook ads are powerful, YouTube ads are powerful, but email, man, email, it's all of that stuff actually is just in an effort to get the email, right? The best email you can possibly get.
Exactly. And you just touched on something very powerful that even Travis says. Travis is a chatbot guy, as you know better than I do. But there's something that he says, and there's something that all people need to understand. At the end of the day, you don't own Facebook. You don't own all of these other mediums. At the end of the day, what is your business? What is the success of your business is dependent on a list of names and or email addresses. That's all you have at the end of the day is that list of people that you can reach out to, their contact.
Yeah, I really agree with Stefan on that. I was going to say something very similar. The big difference to me between email and all of the other social media is there's a go-between. And, you know, with email address, it's the most direct route. And of course, you do have to have an ESP, which I can't wait to ask Stefan to name his 5 favorite ESPs, because he may work with some different people from us. But the email doesn't have to go through the terms of service in the same way that Facebook, you know, Google, YouTube, and so many others. But hit us with your 5 favorite ESPs, because you never know. In your world, you may work with some different ESPs than we do. I'd love to hear who you think is hot this year.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So my five. Sorry. So I've used a bunch of different ones. Right now, I've been using Drip. Drip has been working really well for me.
I've been hearing the same thing. That's so funny you say that. I mean, I've literally heard from 2 of my connections. Wow, that's great.
Interesting.
Yeah, Drip is good. It's got a great, easy setup. You can do a lot of things with it. It's very easy to use. Another really powerful one is ConvertKit. They can be a little funky sometimes, but either way, they have definitely very good deliverability. I think Drip and ConvertKit generally give much higher deliverability, at least in my experience, than something like GetResponse. In my experience, those two work really well for me. There's another.
Do you find they're okay with affiliate marketing though, and even network marketing? Do you find that you're not breaking the terms? I'm not familiar with them directly, other than just hearing them. But you've actually used Drip and you're setting affiliate offers?
Yeah. So with Drip, I haven't had any issues with affiliate offers, but something that I do is generally whatever I promote, I always route through my own domain anyway. So if I'm promoting an affiliate offer, it goes to a page with a video of me on my own website. Generally, if you're doing that and you're not direct linking to an affiliate link, you're going to see, you're going to have way higher deliverability, and you're going to avoid any issues with people wondering about that. So that's kind of how I generally don't have any issues mailing from any of them. Another really powerful one that I haven't tried yet, but I keep hearing amazing things about is MailerLite. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one. But it's supposed to be amazing. You can upload your list, and that's another one that I want to try as well.
Wow, that's such great information. Again, 3 that we really don't use, and I've just been hearing great things about Drip. So it's a great confirmation. And how long have you been on it for?
Oh, at this point, years. There was only one period where I moved off, and it was because there was a temporary issue where it wasn't sending to my entire list. And I think they resolved it in a couple of days, but this was like years ago. So honestly, it's been I did move off for a little while because I didn't know how long it would last, but whenever I did go back, it was there. And ever since then, I haven't really had any issues. I get consistently good deliverability on it. And I know a lot of affiliate marketers, a lot of people in the internet marketing space that are using it successfully. ConvertKit was definitely more strict with what you were allowed to mail. But Drip realistically has been, out of everything, the most reliable for me over the last few years.
Nice.
Hands down.
Very exciting. Well, Stefan, you mentioned one thing. You went through it quickly. I don't think people on the line caught it here. Maybe Greg didn't even caught it, because I barely caught it. You said when you send mail from an autoresponder like Drip or the others, you often route it to your own domain name. And you said you put a video of yourself there. Now, what you're referring to is you're not doing a domain redirect. You're using a bonus page, right?
Correct.
Can you talk about a bonus page real quickly?
Absolutely.
And why would you use a bonus page and not go direct to a link?
Exactly. So I think it's important for everyone on the call to understand something about email service providers, right? They primarily want you to be sending to, and the more you do it, the better. But if you're sending consistently to the same domain, and it's your domain, your website, your business, they see you as a legitimate business. Whatever content is on that website, whether that's a video of you talking about whatever, if you're putting out content They feel like you're mailing like quality, valuable stuff, even if that content is in the form of trying to sell something, whether it's a hard sell or a soft sell. That's what they want to see. So if you are an affiliate and you want to definitely boost your conversions as well as your deliverability, don't just direct link to an affiliate link. And this is just in my experience. There's no, I'm not saying this is the definitive right or wrong answer, but I'm telling you what's worked for me is put content, like a nice video or even text. It could be a blog post, and send it to that content with links to whatever it is that you're selling. Or as you said, it could be a bonus page. So, but really, what is a bonus page? It's a content page. It's a page where you might have a video explaining like, hey, my name is so-and-so. Today I'm going to show you a cool way that you can do this for your business or whatever. And by the way, there's this great software or product that helps you do it 10 times faster. And when you grab it now, I've got these 5 bonuses, right? If you do that and you mail to that page, you're going to bypass a lot of issues with email service providers. You're going to get a higher deliverability. And because you're actually putting additional added value there, you're going to make more sales.
Huge, man. And then oftentimes, that is a secret of sort of like a launch marketplace, right? So what a lot of guys will do to top leaderboards is actually offer, create the bonus page like Stefan was just talking about, and then offer like, hey, if you buy through my link, then you get these bonuses and whatnot. And that's a way to, really, ethically bribe people to purchase through your link. And, you're telling them like, hey, this is my affiliate link. If you buy through this link and make sure I get the credit, you get these bonuses, so you get the commission, they get something, it's a win-win, and leaderboards have been topped many a time with that. But man, like I said, it's already freaking 8:47, folks. My goodness.
I got one more nugget hack here, though.
Oh, okay, what you got?
So related to the pages, the content / bonus pages, this is something interesting that I found. Generally, and it works this way with ads too. So I do some stuff with ads as well to build my list. So, but at the end of the day, one thing that we found, and I was speaking at an event about this yesterday in Mexico, believe it or not, is when you're scrolling, whether it's your news feed or an email or whatever, or you're clicking a link in an email and it looks very salesy. It looks like sometimes almost too professional, too salesy. It looks like immediately that's a turnoff for a lot of people because it looks like they're trying to sell you something, right? So something that worked really well for me, especially when it came to promoting products as an affiliate or even promoting my own products, right, was basically putting a video or a text of me where I was coming across as a friend. I'm not like, hey, get the best bonus package or whatever. It's like, hey guys, today I want to talk to you about something. And I'm talking to them as a friend. I'm talking to them as a colleague of like, here's something that I need to tell you about. Now it's just a word of mouth conversation. The same way that you would be on the street and say, hey, I ate this place Chipotle. It was really good, right? You take that angle, people suddenly don't feel sold to. They feel like they're talking to a friend and you're just making a friendly recommendation. So very powerful. And you, again, test everything, and you can still include those bonuses, right? You could say, hey, I just want to let you know, I came across this amazing thing. This is what it does. At the same time, I decided I'd throw in these bonuses for you. And if you come from that less salesy frame of mind, a lot of times people are going to feel like you're just being a friend helping them out. And that has allowed me to beat people on leaderboards that may haven't even had way better bonuses than me because I made more of a human connection. At the time to learn this, believe it or not, I had to pay a coach back then, $2,500 for a month of coaching. Okay. But it changed my ability to be a good email marketer was that understanding, connecting at the human level, being human to human. So very something to test for you. Very powerful tactic as opposed to just saying, here's the best bonuses.
Matthew, I have to hit one other thing that just right here. And it's a great opportunity with Stefan. Because, Stefan, many, of our folks, we use Traffic Authority and we use obviously, Facebook and, some other things to drive traffic. We would love to hear, because I remember your last training, it was so great. You had some killer free traffic training, but it's been some time. It's been probably a year since then. What would you say? Give us some gold nuggets on, so what have you found are like the best, and I hate using the word free traffic method because it takes effort to do, it's a skill set normally, but share with us something you're finding that's working right now that our members could learn the skill set of driving some traffic that's more effort related than paid traffic.
That's I'm sorry. So
he said a method of driving traffic that's more effort related than paid traffic.
Yeah, like you got any free traffic? I think were you training on Instagram, or I can't remember what it was a year ago. Pinterest is what you were training on. It was
Pinterest.
so good. I mean, so great. I'm just curious, anything like that you have seen that you know that people can build a little bit of an audience through working to drive traffic also.
Yeah, so, well, what I could speak to is something that we're getting ready to, I have tested it actually back in when I was running my agency, but it's something we're getting ready to test now with our software is actually, believe it or not, this won't work in Europe, but we are actually testing some cold email. So that's something unique that we are testing, and it's pretty low barrier to entry. It's legal in the United States. There's a way to do it that you can actually make everyone very happy that you're actually emailing them. So we're in the early stages of doing that. But I can tell you this, when I was trying to generate appointments for my Pinterest marketing agency, cold email was working extremely, extremely well to get people on the phone with me. So now we're going to start expanding that into getting people to buy low ticket products and build that buyers list. So that's what we're getting ready to test right now as the next thing. So something to definitely look into.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that and how you're actually emailing them, because like you just said, United States is canned spam. I mean, it's the opposite of Europe and Canada and some other places. I mean, it's an out standard. Yeah, that's going to be great to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's definitely report back on that.
It's funny you ask about that, Greg, and well, your answer, Stefan, because you know we have a cold email section that we teach in the back office of List Leverage. That's like, you know, we have two sections of customers that really come in. Like there's leads and then there's buyers, and there's different levels of buyers, right? So we literally just rolled out like a few months ago a section that teaches people how to do cold email to the leads, follow up with the leads, get them, you know, asking for a response in Gmail or whatever email they're using, and then once they buy, how to approach that buyer and to send them with a, you know, an email template customized to them, of course. But it's hot stuff, man. It's a what's the word you said? A low barrier to entry, low hanging fruit. You know, they just kind of like pluck that right off of the vine there, you know, and have a bite. So, but yeah, so we can show you what Stefan's up to now. I mean, I don't know if I even showed you, Greg, but we'll do a small plug for Stefan. About you know, so I don't know if you guys remember, Stefan was out here training about Pinterest last time. Now he has a company called Webinar Kit that does automated webinar systems, and he literally you're competing with companies like Webinar Jam, and who else would be your competitors out there?
Demio, whatever, Webinar Jam, Demio. I mean, but we actually have a live platform now, so you could say we're competing with Zoom. You know?
Oh shit! Okay, very exciting, man. So we have Stefan here. You guys can't see it, but his developer is actually right here on the couch as well. And so just hanging out, talking about some nerd stuff, you know, as usual. But we'll do a small plug for Webinar Kit. But then also, guys, if you guys have any questions about what we've covered tonight, then please shoot them in. I gotta say, man, your website is very sexy.
Thank you.
So
props to the developer on that.
Nice, man. So Webinar Kit, folks, if you're at that level where you need an automated webinar, you know, Stefan does have my full endorsement. He'll take care of you, make sure you're in the right spot with everything for your automated webinar needs. And you mentioned you have live streaming now as well.
We do have live streaming. And one thing on this, guys, we're the only constantly supported webinar software that's actually supported for the long term that is currently a one-time price. Everything else charges you yearly or monthly. So that one-time price is not going to be around forever. This is bargain basement pricing for a world-class software. So it's not going to be around forever that way. That is going to be changing. But at the end of the day, right now, you can get in for a one-time price. So yeah. And the price is going up in July. So that's our first official price increase. We've kept prices low to get people through the door because people have just been absolutely loving it, because you just can't beat the value for a fully fledged software as a service for a one-time price like this.
Killer, man. It's killer. And then you also, well, I don't know if I want to ask you about the deal you did, but you did a deal with the sumo guys, didn't you?
Yeah, so there might be some, we did delay that launch because at the end of the day, I'll be honest, they don't give us enough money in terms of a commission, but we're still in talks with them. Maybe a better negotiation will come on, but they were ready to feature us as their leading webinar software for the year, actually. So we're all ready to go, and we're still in negotiations with them to hopefully make the money something more realistic, but that's delayed for the time being because yeah, I think we do really, really well selling direct to customer as well. And sometimes the middleman complicates things.
Nice. Yeah, right on. I remember we talked about that last time I saw you, man. So
Yeah.
didn't mean to put you on the spot, but fantastic answer. Guys, any questions out there before we call it a night here? It's 8:56. Greg, I know you said you might have a few, and anyone else out in the audience as well. please shoot them in and let us know what we can do for you. Greg, over to you, man. If you have anything, let us know.
Yeah, I just the couple of really great things, and so thank you so much, Stefan, for coming out. Before we go, in fact, let's hit our group who's on here. We've got a ton of people on. You guys, please send some love over to Matthew and Stefan and let them know how much you guys appreciate. I mean, just the few nuggets that we heard, from some different ESPs, which is always awesome. And, basically the stuff about headlines. I mean, there's just so much great stuff. People will be rewatching this for sure. But please, in the group chat, you guys, please hit folks with what you thought on a 1 to 10 of our training tonight. It's always so great to have someone live out. And then the other just thing, Stefan, I wanted to ask you real quick is like, what would you say of the things that you've done over the, let's just say the past 5 years? What's been the biggest nugget, the biggest, kind of game changer that moved your business and moved the needle of revenue for you, here in the last couple of years? What would you say is a real takeaway?
That's a great question. Let me think on it for 15 seconds here, because that is definitely an interesting one. I would say on a high level, consistency trumps everything. You need to be consistent, whether that is consistently building your email list and this is going to sound a little bit weird, but even if you're being consistently inconsistent, meaning you're trying different things until you find that thing that really works. Because I've done a lot of things over the last 5 years, but I was consistently doing different things until I found the things that lasted me to really bring me to the income level that I was looking for or get me on the path to be where I wanted to go. So being consistent or being consistently inconsistent so that you could be consistent, if that makes sense.
No, I love that. You know what? Because it's really a direct mindset answer. And it really is, we found, Stefan, the really big kind of takeaway from our last year really is, the things you just said. And then basically that, it's it's the parts that we bring to our business every day. It's really how we look at our business. It's really the attitude that we bring in and really the effort we make. And the consistency, again, is just right there with mindset. And it just, to me, it's the big difference, between the successful and unsuccessful. I mean, Matthew says it. He doesn't know a single person that does not do personal development that's a 7-figure earner. I agree with that 100%. I would simply add the other piece that goes with that is work ethic. I've not seen a single lazy person be hugely successful. I mean, Grant Cardone, these other guys are right on with the fact that it is effort, it is our own effort that makes the big difference. And I also find one of the main things, and I don't think we give enough credit to this, it's networking with like-minded people. And, with Matthew and now Stefan, you come out the second time, this is such a great benefit because, I was just listening to something myself this week where Bestows was saying that, we are basically the 5 people that we spend time with, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's family. The people we spend time with are the people we are becoming. And it's been a real honor to share time with you guys tonight and our members, because this is how we move the needle in a positive direction. So it's really been great.
Love it, man. I love it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Folks, thank you for all the feedback on that. We got tons of comments saying 10, thanks for the nuggets, so much value, solid 10, 11. Great webinar. I got a 10,000.
I'm going to get a drip account tomorrow,
Nice, man. So thank you for that, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the comments, guys. Those are really nice comments.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. It's not like, so I like doing these calls this way because this is kind of I've gotten the most value in my life learning from people in sort of a setting where we just sit down and just shoot the shit and just talk about random stuff, but in a direction, so it's kind of like, going out to a marketing event, almost as close as we can come to it without actually going there. on a Zoom call like this and just talk about what it is and talk about the game, talk about like how we've had results, how we failed, you know, and learn about that and overcome that stuff together. So, you know, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this community. Appreciate you guys. Stefan, thank you for coming out, man, and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was great chatting with everyone.
Absolutely, man. So, guys, with that said, I'm taking Stefan and his developer out to a place called Espanola Way tonight. Greg, you been to Espanola before?
I have not, but it sounds like fun.
Oh, that's good. This Italian place called Hoisteria, man. They like do the fire pasta right in front of you. It's gonna be amazing. So see, he's getting excited already.
Can't beat that.
Nice.
All right, guys. Catch you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the group. Catch you guys later. See you. Bye.